Hello, Year 7, and welcome to your home learning this week. This week's lesson, we are looking at explaining how to answer a geography question using PEDL. So we're going to look at how we answer assessment questions in the perfect structure. So first thing we're going to do as our first learning objective is we're going to recap the concept of SEEP. We're then going to look at describing a PEDL paragraph structure, so what we need to do to answer that question correctly. And then finally, we're going to actually practice a geographical exam question using that PEDL structure that we've just learned about. Now, in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the equipment that you need for today's lesson. You've also got in the right-hand corner the Know Your Level, and that is just linking to the tasks you should be doing in terms of your MG grade. Okay, so learning objective 1 this week is to look at SEEP and recap what that means, okay? So if I just put on the board, first of all, the S of our SEEP, that links to social, and you can see that that links to anything to do with people. We then move on to the first E, which is economic, and that links to money. We've got environmental, that links to anything to do with nature or the environment that we live in. And then finally, you've got your political, and that's got anything to do with government, laws, anything to do with things that governments spend money on within a country, okay? So the task that I want us to complete first of all, okay, is can we create an image to represent each part of SEEP? So you're going to put social and you're going to create your own image that links to social. And you're going to do economic and environmental and political as well. For secure then, under each of your images you have created, I want you to make a list of things that may link to the different parts of SEEP. So for example, houses equals social because that links to people. People live in houses. If they don't have houses, that's affecting them because they have nowhere to live. Okay, jobs has links to economic because that's to do with money, people making money. So anything that links to any parts of SEEP. Mastered, what do you think social economic means? And what are some of the things that may link to this, okay? So for mastered, you're going to tell me what you think socio-economic is, and then can you think of things that link to it, just like you did with the secure task. Once you've done that, can you take a picture of your work ready to upload to class charts? Just pause the video here while you complete this task. So learning objective 2 of this lesson then is to describe a PEDL paragraph and how we write that perfect answer for a geography assessment. Now, we've already done 2 or 3 previous assessments, and I'm just going to flash some of those assessment questions that we've done. So we've looked at sustainable goal 1, no poverty is the most important goal in helping countries to develop. Do you agree? Explain your answer. And that's a 9-mark question plus spelling and grammar. Okay, and this is our first assessment that we did. Okay, in that assessment, we also explained one environmental impact of climate change, which is a 4-mark question. Again, you would have used PEDL for that. We've looked at, explain one economic impact of the 2019-2020 wildfires in Australia. And again, that's a 4-mark question. We would have used PEDL for that one as well. And then finally, we looked at humans are completely to blame for drought and famine. To what extent do you agree? Now, again, that's a 9-mark question with spelling and grammar. So we need to look at how we answer these questions. So for, again, like I said already, all these questions, we need to use PEDL structure to answer to get the highest grade possible. So to create our perfect PEDL paragraph, we're going to look at a previous assessment question that we've completed already in geography this year. We're going to look at humans are completely to blame for drought and famine. To what extent do you agree with this comment or statement? Now, this is a 9-mark question. So if it's a 9-mark question, we have to write 2 PEDL paragraphs and a conclusion. Now, those 2 PEDL paragraphs should be a for and against that statement. That statement saying that it's humans are to blame. So we're going to do a PEDL paragraph which talks about human impact of drought and famine, and we're going to look at physical impacts, so how nature has an impact on drought and famine as well. Now, if we were to just list all the reasons why famine and drought are caused by humans, so for example, humans cause drought and famine through climate change, farming, that would only get you 1 mark out of 9. We need to use PEDL to get close to that 9 out of 9 marks, okay? So we need to complete one human PEDL paragraph, one physical PEDL paragraph, and a conclusion with your opinion. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to go through how we describe a perfect PEDL paragraph. And to do this, we're going to look at creating a physical PEDL paragraph to link to the question, humans are completely to blame for drought and famine. To what extent do you agree? Remember, you need to do it a human PEDL paragraph and a physical PEDL paragraph. And we're going to do the physical PEDL paragraph now together to explain how we answer using PEDL, okay? So on the board, or on the slide, sorry, I'm just going to put up the PEDL, and you can see the letters there. I'm also going to put up what each letter links to. So we've got our P that links to our point, we've got E that links to explain, D which is develop, and then L which is our link. So we're going to go through now using this structure to explain how we would answer this question. So first of all, for our point, you're going to give a cause, an impact, or an effect. Now, I've only said one cause. We're not going to make a list of them. We're going to give one cause, and then we're going to go through and explain it using the rest of PEDL. So for the example that we're using, we're going to look at a physical cause of drought, and the physical cause of drought that I'm going to give as an example is weather patterns. So one cause of drought and famine is weather patterns. And again, I've put that weather patterns in bold because that is giving your point, because you've told me that weather patterns, which is a physical cause of drought, answers the first part of this paragraph, okay? We then move on to explain, and explain is where we give details and facts to that point. So you explain why that links to the question. So in terms of this, we're going to explain why weather patterns cause drought and famine. And the example I'm going to give you here is then this causes drought and famine because there can be long periods of very low rainfall. So I've explained how weather patterns cause drought and famine. As you can see, I've put in bold because is your connective word, and that's connecting together to explain why that causes drought, because we know drought and famine is when we have very low amounts of water in an area, okay? We then move on to develop, and that's where we're going to say what happens and link it back to the question. So in terms of this question that we're looking at, we're going to start off by saying this means that, and I've put that in bold because every time that we talk about our develop part of PEDL, you always start the develop part of the sentence with this means that. Okay, so this means that the soil will not receive enough water and will become dry, which means it will become infertile and crops will not grow. Okay, so in that sentence, I have explained that there's not enough water in the area, so that means that the soil will be dry, it becomes infertile, that means it's got no nutrients, so crops can't grow, so that means that we don't have enough food supply. Remember, famine is when we don't have enough food for the population, which can then lead to other things like disease, which then can eventually lead to death, okay? And I've explained that in one sentence using this means that. Finally then, and this is where we link to our SEEP, and that's why I asked you to recap that in your first activity. So you link it to either social, economic, environmental, or political. And then you need to explain why it links to that. And again, using this question as an example, this links to social because people will not have enough food they need to live a healthy life. So again, I've linked it to social because I know it links to people, and then I've linked it to the fact that people will not have enough food to live a healthy life. Okay, so that is your structure of a PEDL paragraph. So you start off with your point, you then explain it using because, you then develop it saying this means that, and then you link it to SEEP in your final part of the PEDL paragraph. Now, there is one final thing that we can look at if you are a level 7 plus or above, and this is where you need to look at using your however, okay? So for level 7 or plus, you're going to use however, and this is where we evaluate your point. And again, you're going to start your sentence saying however, and you're going to evaluate, so that means you're going to give a opposing opinion to what you've already said in your paragraph. So, however, farming, which is a human cause, can lead to soil erosion and soil infertility, which leads to drought and famine. And again, all I've done there is given another opinion And that links to the question, and that would give you an extra mark in your 9-mark question. Okay? So now that we've looked at the structure of PEDL, I'm going to ask you to complete a task on WordWall, and that is for you to create a human PEDL paragraph to this question. Once you've done that, you can come back and do the mastered task, which is to create your own, however, to the PEDL paragraph that you create on WordWall. So I want you to pause the video now, head over to WordWall and have a go at linking up the PEDL paragraph for a human PEDL paragraph to the question that you've been answered. Okay, so just pause the video now. So this brings us on to our final learning objective of the lesson. We're going to have a go at creating our own PEDL paragraph. Now we're going to use the same question that we looked at in the previous task. Humans are completely to blame for drought and famine. To what extent do you agree? Now we've already looked at the physical PEDL paragraph when we went through together the weather patterns and explained why weather patterns cause drought. You are going to create a PEDL paragraph which links to human causes of drought. So I'm not expecting you to remember to recall the information from that lesson because it's quite a while ago. So what I'm going to do to help you out is I'm going to give you on this slide 3 different causes of drought and famine that are caused by human impacts, okay? So using the information on the table, the human causes of drought and famine, and the help sheet that's on class charts. Now the help sheet on class charts has the same information on this table. It has all 3 tasks secured, developing and mastered with sentence starters to help you complete this question. So create a human cause of drought, create a human cause of drought and famine PEDL paragraph. That is the developing task. For secured, add an evaluation to your PEDL. So that's where you're going to say, however. And then finally for mastered, using the information from task 2 and 3, that's the task that we're just completing now, and the previous task where we went through the physical impact causes of drought and famine, can you create a conclusion to this 9-marker? And again, all the sentence starters that you need to complete these tasks are on that help sheet. So what I want you to do now is pause the video, go over to class charts and open up that help sheet and complete the following tasks. Once you've done that, can you take a picture of your work ready to upload to class charts? So just pause the video now and open up that help sheet. So that brings us to the end of this lesson, Year 7. Just before you finish the lesson, I just want to go through what I want you to upload to class charts. So the first thing I'd like you to upload is your pictures of SEEP with the list of explanations of what links to SEEP, and that links to our first learning objective, which recaps key concept of SEEP. And then I want you to upload your final task, which was task 3, your PEDL paragraph, your human PEDL paragraph, and again that links to our practice geographical exam question. And that is the 2 pieces of work that I'd like you to upload to class charts this week. So well done for participating in home learning this week. As the geography team, we're all looking forward to seeing your work. See you next lesson, guys. Thank you.